Other advanced Western countries like Sweden and Germany have figured this out. Why can't we? Let's take a look at this Pew Research chart. Compared with other developed countries, the United States is like a third world nation in terms of the percentage of our population that suffers from hunger. Cutting food stamps is cruel, unnecessary, and bad for the economy. But libertarians like Austin Petersen want to do it anyway. Why is that? I'm joined now by Austin Petersen, Director of Production for FreedomWorks and the editor of LibertarianRepublic.com. Austin, what do you hate about hungry children?
Well, Tom, it's easy to be compassionate when someone else is picking up the tab. But
I'm picking up the tab.
Yeah, well, but I think it was Mark Twain that said that a full belly is little worth where the mind is starved, Tom. So
I think it was
Franklin
Roosevelt who said a necessitous man is not a free man.
Okay, but we want to talk about the people who are on this program. You know, in 2010, there was a GAO report that revealed that the people who choose to participate in these food assistance programs generally yes, they choose, because there are people who choose not to use it, but they have greater difficulty meeting their food needs, and they are more food insecure compared to the same people who are eligible for the program who don't participate. So what we're looking at is the research is showing that the people who are participating are worse off than the people who are eligible but who don't participate.
And that's why they participated.
No, they participate.
Of course it is.
No, it's not necessarily, Tom. Because
I have a memory of this. I was 6 years old. My dad, there was a recession back in the 1950s. My dad was selling vacuum cleaners, Rexair vacuum cleaners, and encyclopedias door to door. We didn't have enough money to make ends meet. And we went down and we got these big blocks of cheese and 25-pound bags of macaroni. And for 3 weeks, we ate macaroni and cheese every night for dinner. I remember that was a lot of work.
But what I don't understand is why people like you and your father aren't willing to go and do the violence that you're asking the government to do, to take from others, to give, to take bread. If you're such a good Robin Hood, then why don't you go and steal from the rich and give to the poor yourself? Why don't you have the courage to do that, Tom?
That's a coward's comment.
No, it's not. It's cowardly to ask other people to do the violence that you are not willing to do.
By violence, you're talking about taxes.
That's right.
Nonsense.
It is. It's coercive.
Yes, it is. It is the cost of admission to a civil society.
Absolutely not. Democracy is two wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner.
That is nonsense.
Absolutely.
So coercive. You're opposed to democracy.
I'm for a republic, is what I am. A constitutional republic.
How about a constitutional?
And the founders were not for a democracy, by the way. Democracy is two wolves and
that's nonsense.
Absolutely, it is.
Absolutely nonsense.
A pure democracy is a tyranny of the majority.
Separated those words.
It's a tyranny of the majority. America was founded on America was founded on individual rights. We have to protect the rights of the individual.
You are suggesting that we should not be feeding people because it involves tax dollars.
Actually, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, Tom.
You are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. You just said it's violence.
It is violence. It is violence.
And if there is no
other... It's the gun in the room.
Yeah, what you're saying is, therefore, screw them, right?
No,
we don't have any obligation.
I'll tell you what, Tom. I'll be nice.
You probably got a public school education. You have lived off the fat of the land your entire life here, Austin. You're doing very well, thank you very much.
And I've tilled it with my own hands.
Coming over here,
I'm
sure you made the street out in front that you drove here on.
Well, I've done a lot of digging in fields and planted a lot of crops. But let me tell you something, Tom. I'll make you a deal.
You don't want
to
be a part of this society.
I want to be a part of society, but government is not society. See, socialists socialists confuse the distinction between government and society.
Okay, I get it that you hate.
No, wait. Just because I don't want.
You hate what George Washington had 3 horses shot out from underneath the create.
Tom, please.
I get it.
Just because I don't want something to be done by the government doesn't mean that I don't want to be done at all. You see, you're confusing the difference between government and society. They are not the same thing.
In 1934. In December of 1934, in New York City, 110 people were certified by the coroner to have died from hunger. From hunger. Before we had these programs, people were dying from hunger in the United States.
Right.
As Franklin Roosevelt said, you claim that you're a great champion of liberty.
Absolutely.
How can you be free if you don't have food?
Well, Tom...
How can you be free if you don't have a home?
You're free to go out and
How can you be free if you
food?
Can't find a job?
Because the thing is, not everyone wants a home. Not everyone necessarily wants to eat the same things as everyone else.
But many people do, and they're not free.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll make you a deal. Right now, we're taxing poor people to pay for foreign aid for people in poor countries. For
foreign aid
is
an insignificant
but Republicans,
portion of
you said that Republicans and Libertarians want to cut these programs. But I'll make you a deal. As a Libertarian, I'll cut all the foreign aid, cut it in half, give it to you for your domestic programs, and we'll use that. You can use that for here, and then I'll give the other half to the Americans in tax breaks. How does that sound?
Less than 1%.
Well, it doesn't matter. We're paying for
this is another red herring.
All of our poor people are paying for rich people in poor countries.
You're throwing out another red herring to avoid the fact that you're willing to let poor children starve.
No, what we have right now
that it's just
is
fine with you
a president. We have a president who is
hungry.
No, we have a president who is putting.
No,
who's
it's
taken,
fine with
in 2011.
you if poor children go to bed hungry.
These programs bleed.
That choice,
these programs,
and they're not trying to pull themselves up by their bootstraps.
Tom, these programs bleed $2.2 billion every year. This president has taken a group of people from 17 million people who are recipients of food stamps to 45 million people on these. He is a food stamp president. I blame President Obama for this economic malaise. It's absolutely his fault that these people are hungry because these programs cannot efficiently do it.
30 years of Reaganomics has eviscerated the middle class in this country.
I miss Ronald Reagan.
The economy has doubled in size since Reagan came into office. The amount of money going to the top 1% has quintupled in size. The amount of money going to the average working person has dropped.
Well,
and the result of that is that all that profit is going to the top.
All right, so let me finish off with this.
You have more than half of America living in poverty right now. Never in the history of America
inflation is the problem. The Federal Reserve is the problem.
There's no inflation.
Listen,
give me a break.
We have never
seen
about giving food stamps.
Big a divide in the history of this country.
Tom, please let me finish. The Federal Reserve has devalued the American dollar from 1913 to now. It's now worth a fraction of a cent of what it was worth in 1913.
Take it up with Jimmy Carter.
Well, the problem is that if you want poor people to be able to purchase goods and services, you want to stop inflation.
Of the Reagan administration. You have inflation right now that's negative.
And he curbed it.
Paul Volcker curbed it.
That's right. Absolutely. We miss Paul Volcker years.
Yeah, right.
We want poor people to be able to buy more with their money.
Paul Volcker raised inflation.
No, if you want more people to be fed, let's end the Fed.
But, okay, again, you succeeded in changing the subject away from the fact that it's just fine with you if poor children go to bed hungry.
Absolutely not, Tom. I told you I was willing to make a deal that I'll give you half of everything we're spending overseas and bring it home, let you spend that half here. Well, you know what, Tom? You're going to have to make a deal sometime, Tom. Come on, this Libertarian's giving you a chance. Let's stop spending the welfare in these poor countries.
Austin, the majority of the American people believe that we actually are our brothers.
That's why democracy is BS. You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. We're not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic.
Yeah. Okay, Austin. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you, Tom.
We'll be back.